Welcome to Champions for Life, the radio ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services here in Las Vegas. I'm Deborah, the Executive Director of First Choice.
And I'm Ken.
And we are Champions for Life. Good afternoon. It's three of us here live today with y'all.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Sounding southern like Ken from Louisiana.
That's right. That's exactly right. Shout out to my New Orleans Saints for taking care of the Dallas Cowboys right there. But hopefully Pastor Randy's not listening, and so, because he'll be upset.
And then we got Becky here with us today. Rebecca, our events manager. She's from the South, too. She's New Mexico.
Yeah.
That's west?
I feel like I'm being a little Kamala-ish with my twangs accents today. she's Southern.
It's a place to be.
Great to be with you guys today. We have, of course, what's going to be a fun 25 fast minutes of talking about what's going on. I'll just give you guys stats for the week before I forget getting into all this. We did 64 pregnancy tests and 37 ultrasounds in the past week. That was provided to our patients free of charge due to the generous contributions of faithful supporters who carry us here in Las Vegas. We have Beck here today with us because she is our events manager.
Ooh.
And our gala is coming up in 2 weeks from tomorrow, October the 4th. So she's fresh off of meetings this morning, preparing for that. So I was like, hey, you want to come speak a little bit about the banquet and what we're doing?
Absolutely. I'm so thankful and glad to be here with you all. I'm just looking forward to seeing you all. And I can't believe it's only 2 weeks away.
Yes.
So the gala is only 2 weeks away. I'm so looking forward to seeing everyone there. I just can't wait. It's October 4th, and we have a keynote speaker, Chad Williams, who is amazing. Our doors open at 6 p.m., dinner at 7. So if I can help in any way, please give me a call. I can register you right on the spot. You can call First Choice, or you can call me directly at 702-7478. So that's 702-702-7478. And I can get you a seat for you, your whoever else you want to bring with you, or you can get a whole table and bring 10 of your friends or churchgoers or family members.
Or you can sponsor the event if you can't make it, but
Absolutely.
You'd love to contribute to the cause.
Yeah, this is exciting because this is our biggest fundraiser of the year. So we are so thankful for all of you who join us and support us and are all in for the babies.
Our registration will begin at 5:45, is it? Because
Yes.
we have the VIP meet and greet with Chad at 6 o'clock.
Yes, thank you.
And then our dinner starts at 7, so it's a little different timing this year than what we normally do. But Chad is a retired Navy SEAL. He's the author of the book Seal of God. I've seen a few clippets of him on different interviews. And ironically, my brother just had him speaking at a luncheon he hosted here within the last 10 months. So he just made his circles in the Midwest, and he's about to be surprised to see my brother out here in the West. My brother was like, hey, you have Chad? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I just had him out here in November. So we're hoping that we're going to have a awesome night. We've totally kind of revamped how we normally do our banquet. No silent auction on site this year, but we will have a room with quite a few moms and their little children or babies that directly benefited from the support of those who generously contribute to what we do. One of them was in the other day doing a video, and I got to speak to her and her little kids. Her little kids are just really sweet. Single mom, has 2 children. She's from the Midwest, out here on her own, and she came into First Choice twice to abort the same baby. And the second time it was when God ended up speaking to her, and she ended up changing her mind. And she just brought in her little baby the other day. He's 2 months old now.
Super cute.
Yeah, and she was just, kind of speaking about the struggle in life, but we had a really good conversation. We texted the other day a little bit. And then there was another one that came in, which was the first one I was going to tell you about. She came in with her baby and the baby's dad. And the dad was just really grateful for First Choice and interested in helping us out with some video stuff in the future. And so it's always so rewarding and encouraging when you get to experience what their life looks like with that child after giving birth to that baby. And especially for the counselors who interact with these ladies, they don't always get to see the benefit with their own eyes of the hard work that they do, or the results of the hard work they do. So when these ladies come back in with their babies and share their stories, it just reminds you that is why we stand and we fight and we never give up.
That's right.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know we meet these girls right at that crossroads where they're just contemplating, what should I do? We don't know what way to go. They get all the advice they need. They get the truth. They get to see their baby on ultrasound, hear their heartbeats, and it's just such a game changer for them. And they're so, so thankful afterwards. We have lots of them coming back with their babies and just saying, we are so thankful that we came here and you gave us the information we needed, the resources, the help to make the best decision we ever made in our life. So it's exciting.
I mean, the one gal on her video just said how much this baby has in a good way made her grow up. Sometimes that is what some of these young people need. They need to grow up. And your children can definitely make you grow up if you're not growing up without them.
You're not growing up fast enough.
Yeah.
You will.
Yes.
So.
Ken had an awesome story that he was telling us about.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, well, of course, yesterday, yes, we had the 40 Days for Life kickoff rally, Tower Jewels, right across from First Choice. And was it Eve? Yes, Eve came over and talked about an amazing story, just one of thousands that happened at First Choice Pregnancy Services. But a lady comes in, and that particular day, the power got knocked out. And not just at First Choice, but I mean in the area, in the neighborhood, right? No power. And so they were contemplating, well, what do we do? I mean, we got no sonogram, no machines, no air conditioning, we got nothing. Well, we just pack it up. And then in comes this young lady, driven there by her mom. Mom wanted her to have an abortion, but for whatever reason, they were there. And this young lady probably would have, had this been an abortion facility, probably would have gone through with it. But she ran into Eve. And so they were talking, and Eve just shared the love of God with her and talked about the destiny of this child and the blessing that this child will be for her if she decides to have it, and how First Choice will be there to help. And by the time she was finished ministering to this young lady, now keep in mind, it's hot inside the building, no AC, no nothing, right? And, sweating, presumably, if ladies, we don't, perspiring profusely. And so this young lady was so convinced that after the meeting was over with Eve, she said, listen, I am so keeping this baby. He said, look, when your electricity comes back on, you call me and I'm going to come back, whatever day that is, and I'm going to have my sonogram here so I can see a picture of my baby. And so, boom, she leaves. And then within minutes, the power comes back on. So what does he do? He gets on the phone, calls her back. I said, listen, how far away are you? Come back. The electricity is on. And she did. She turned back. She got to see her beautiful baby. I bet you anything you gave her a little heartbeat. The little keychain thing with the, man, I love those things. And she was just so, here is just one testimony among thousands of young ladies who've gone in thinking, that life is over, this baby's going to end my life, and so I'm going to end hers before she ends mine. And walking out of there and saying, life is going to begin as a blessing. Yes. That's what happens at First Choice Pregnancy Services, which is why you want to be at the banquet at the Westgate, by the way.
Absolutely,
at the Westgate on October 4th. And you want to sign up, and here's where you sign up. www.FCPS Champions. Stands for First Choice Pregnancy Services, champions.org. And under events, fcpschampions.org. Under events, log in, get your table, get your husband, and say, here's where we're going. Here, your fiance, get him, and let's go. And the beautiful thing is you guys are going to get to meet, instead of the silent auction, you're going to get to shake hands with some very wonderful ladies who have their children there, who are alive because First Choice was there, and are there because you supported First Choice Pregnancy Services, because you were there. You want to talk about getting so much back for the money and time that you donate to a ministry. You will actually get to see the joy of the moms and the babies there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many you're going to have. What are you going to have? 3, 4?
Oh, there's going to be quite a few. There's probably more than 4. Yeah, there's more than 4.
Wow. And you're going to get to, and they're going to be beaming ear to ear as they show hundreds and hundreds of people that are going to be there, their wonderful child, thanks to First Choice. It's so much better than the silent auction.
I walked into an ultrasound room last week. This just came to my mind. I had a breakfast meeting this morning with some individuals, and we got on the topic of First Choice and abortion, and the one individual told me, wow, I had no idea about the complexity and like the details of abortion here in Las Vegas, and just said, this is really heavy, but it's important that people know this. Just really glad that they were able to learn about abortion. But we were talking about, the one individual was shocked to hear that 0.50 of abortions, 0.5, not even 1% of abortions are done for rape and incest. And that was very shocking to them. And then I said, yeah, about 95% of abortions are done as a means of birth control. And I said, really? And so I was sharing some other stories with them. But I just was thinking, last week I walked into an ultrasound room, and there was a baby on the screen. And the sonographer was just really excited. She said, I just was able to show this baby to its mom. This baby gets to live. The mom is in her 20s, has one child, but has already, in her 20s, from South America, had 7 abortions. But this baby, she saw the baby and ended up choosing life for this baby. So these are some of the women that come to these events. And this is why we exist. Yep. To educate, to equip, to inform these moms, to connect them to the resources that they need to be able to choose life, and not feel like they're alone without any help or support to be able to give birth to these children, these little blessings that God has blessed them with.
Yeah, one of the things I really love about First Choice too is we are actually helping these women not to go down that downward spiral of destruction that abortion brings physically, emotionally, spiritually. So it's, all the pain that brings into that mom, that life, that woman, and just the freedom they feel when they leave First Choice, knowing that they didn't have to, because the counselors will tell them, there is some risks to doing, having abortion. There's truth in all of that. So it's exciting to see that they can not have to go down that downward spiral of destruction.
Yeah, one of these individuals asked me this morning, well, what are the side effects of abortion? And so I was telling them, I said, it increases risks of suicide, mental, physical, emotional. They had asked, is it only physical effects to it? And I said, no. I said, they're not talking about all the other things. Your increased risks of breast cancer. It might be the only child you ever conceive that you abort. It might cause you to turn to alcohol or drugs to suppress the feelings that you have as a result of the actions you've taken. They were just really surprised by all of that. And I said, when you go into a facility and you're in a vulnerable point in your life and you're feeling despair, and you have somebody, like they told my sister at the abortion clinic when we walked in before we opened First Choice, that it was nothing more than like going to the dentist, and you were a very reassuring motherly figure, and you lack that positive mother in your life, it's very easy to fall prey to somebody like that. And so they're asking me prices on abortions, and I told them, it starts off about $700 and tops out at about $3,000. And they said, so this is a money-making thing, huh? It's like the light bulb went off in their minds. And I said, that's all it is. It's sacrificing children, and they're making money off of it. It's an easy way for them to do what they're doing, turn a quick dime. And so they were asking some questions about how you become an abortionist. And I told them, well, generally, it's the bottom of the class, the people that end up turning out to be the abortionists. They're not the great doctors in their medical classes and medical school. But, like we were talking about, I see Ken has here the question 6, the ballot. They had no idea that abortion is going to be on the ballot this fall. Abortion's already legal here in Nevada up to 6 months. And they are very deceptive, deceiving in the commercials they have on TV right now. Particularly one commercial that has, 6 to 8 young teen, 20-year-old gals that talk about 1 in 6 gals being raped. And using this measure on the ballot to push for this abortion initiative to be passed.
Yeah, it's a flat-out lie.
Yeah.
It's a flat-out lie, but it's scaring the public, and it's crazy because already in Nevada, in our Constitution, for any reason or no reason, you can have an abortion up to and including 6 months, where your baby, at that point, ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, you're feeling that child kick and move and grab things in there, and so this will extend it to 9 months.
They asked me this morning, they said, why would somebody have an abortion like when you're almost 6 months? Like, why is that even a choice people are making? And I said, you'd be shocked. I told them a story of one time when I was pregnant with my first daughter, my only daughter, my first child. And I was volunteering at that time, full-time at First Choice. And I came in one day, and this young gal came walking in the doors. She was about my age. I was mid-20s. And she has a little pregnancy bump and tells me that she's there for her abortion. And here I am at the same stage of pregnancy as this young lady. And she knew she was having a girl. Yet she wanted to abort her. And I said, well, you're feeling this. I know you're feeling this baby because I'm feeling my baby. And she said, yeah. And I asked her why she was making a choice to abort this baby, even knowing that she had a daughter. And it was just strictly to get back at her boyfriend because she found out he was cheating on her. And so I told him, I said, it's more often than not something that changes in their circumstances, whether it's something cheating like that or it's finances or whatever. For the most part, these girls aren't finding out when they're 6 months pregnant that they are pregnant and they want an abortion. It's just a quick and easy way to get rid of whatever obstacle or problem they think that child is, depending on whatever circumstance in their life. These guys, today, they were like, wow, this is so heavy. We had no idea. Like, this is what's happening, and this is how. And I said, for the most part, my husband's in law enforcement. He says, people pay us to do the job that we do so that they can live in the world they wish to live in without knowing how bad it is. And that's a lot of the way even with abortion. When people aren't talking about it and uncomfortable with addressing the issue, people remain ignorant on the topic, and things like this proceed forward with aborting babies at 9 months.
Yeah, it's crazy. And not only that, the question is so bad that and the ballot question, which will change our Constitution, by the way, is so bad that you don't even need to have a licensed physician anymore to perform the abortion. They removed that language. So now legally, If this passes, of course, if it passes this time, it has to be voted again in 2 years. But if it passes then as well, then I think they changed the language to licensed,
healthcare professional.
Healthcare professionals, and that by law is termed anywhere from your school nurse to your masseuse to anyone
tattoo artist
to your tattoo. You would be surprised. Look it up on its NRS. They have a list of all of the licensed healthcare professionals that are there and who they can be, and I think they are doing that because they want just anyone to hand out the abortion pill. They want anyone, whether it's a school, someone the school nurse handing one out to your, 12, 13-year-old without you knowing about it, by the way. And that's the other thing, too. At least as it is in the Constitution now, parents must be notified of an impending abortion on their 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old minor daughter. That will be gone if this passes. So you parent will not find out that your little girl has had an abortion unless either A, she tells you years later, or 2, Lord forbid, something goes wrong and she ends up in the hospital and, now they're having to do some, emergency health care for her from, some complications from the abortion.
Father that found his daughter dead in her bed
that's the worst possible thing.
She went septic from the abortion pill. He had no idea she'd even taken it.
Yep, and there's so many bad ramifications of this. Here's what we want you to do. Listen. Even a lot of pro-choice folks are not in favor of this. I know. I'm talking to them already, at work so here's what you want to do. Listen, let them know what's coming. When you talk about the election, because you're going to talk about the election, and you mention to them question 6, and here's what we want you to do. We want you to convince one person not to vote no on question 6, right? That's all you have to do, just one person. The sad reality, we got the stats back from other states. 50% of Catholics, nearly 50% of evangelical Protestants voted in favor of the abortion language which changed other states' laws. We don't want that to happen here. 50% of Christians voted in favor of the abortion. We don't want that to happen here, right? We want life and truth to prevail.
I wish they would have put on this little leaflet you have here that abortion is already legal through 6 months.
Yeah, that's right.
Because people who are worried about taking rights from women, reading this, don't realize that they're trying to add 3 more months to something that's already in our laws.
Yes, and keep in mind, you say, well, why is it more profitable? It's very profitable for a late-term abortion for abortionists. Because not only do they have the baby birthed intact, which then they can sell that child's remains to pharmaceutical companies, university research laboratories, and things like eyes and brains and lungs and kidneys and skin tissue. All of it is valuable. That alone is a problem, but that's how they view these unborn children. They look at them as a monetary resource. And they'll convince the young ladies by saying, well, listen, why don't we do this? Sign this. We're going to turn something good out of something bad. That's what they sell to these young ladies, and then they sign away their baby parts to other companies. It's frightening. It's macabre. We do not want to vote. We vote no on question 6.
These folks I was talking with this morning, they're like, this is human trafficking of baby body parts.
That's the other part of it. That's the other part. You talk about human trafficking even in the womb, but the other part of it is, of course, adult males who impregnate young ladies, or perhaps even, I hate to say this, it's radio, but prostitutes, and maybe the pimps take care of stuff, and I've run into them. I've seen this happen. Where the so-called problem is taken care of. This is not what we want Las Vegas to be known for. Yeah. Abortion destinations, and that's what's happening. They're flying people out from, paying for their health care, their abortion surgery. They're paying for their room. They're paying for their child care. They're paying for their flight, and then you have the abortion, and you go back. And I mean, this is not what we want to see in Las Vegas. This is not what we want our city to be known for.
All that to say, get involved.
Yes.
We got a minute left. I want to talk about 40. Listen, 40 days is starting our campaign this coming Wednesday. So get involved. 40daysforlife.com/Las Vegas, and be a part of the campaign to intervene for these young ladies, and see us at the banquet. Log in and get your tickets on October 4th. You got to be a part.
It's going to be a wonderful evening, so you don't want to miss it.
No, you don't want to miss it. Get to meet these wonderful moms and everything. Oh, it's going to be fabulous.
So check out First Choice website, fcpschampions.org. There's a lot of information on there. You can learn about us. Check out our events. If you want to do a baby bottle campaign at your church, we would love for you to do that. Just get a way to plug in and become a champion for life.
That's
because
right.
These babies need people who will champion their voice.
And if you have questions about anything that you've heard today, maybe you've gone through miscarriage or anything else, give First Choice a call, 702-294-CARE, 702-294-2273.
That's it for today. Thanks for joining us. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for the Champions for Life radio broadcast, the outreach ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services.
Join us every Thursday at 12:30 on KKVV 1060 AM.
If you or someone you know need help with your pregnancy, or if you wish to visit or support our clinic and radio ministry, please call 702-294-CARE. That's 702-294-2273.
Or visit us at fcpschampions.org. That's fcpschampions.org.